Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the St. Louis Cardinals. I hope you're having a lovely day today. Today we're going to be going through another season after one ended better. And most importantly, we added a key new player to our team in the form of one Ernest Banks. I'm just going to leave his name as Mr. Cub. I'm not going to change it. I think it's funnier that way. Um, we have needed a premium player at shortstop for a very long time, and now we finally have one, which is excellent news. We still have Mickey Mantle, of course. We still have Gene Woodling. Rocky Colavito had maybe a rougher start than I would have liked, but he's certainly done enough to show that he deserves more playing time. So we have uh, classic legendary Cardinal Red Schoendienst is on our team now, giving us a quality second baseman that we can trust. Um, Frank Thomas playing first base for us and doing some stuff. So yeah. We need pitching. Johnny Pod Racing and Harvey Haddix is not enough. That's probably something we ought to focus on sooner rather than later. And I don't know where that comes from either. But I do want to share a very interesting glitch I learned about on Reddit that I had never encountered, but it's such a cool glitch that I want to share that with you all. It has to do with two-way players. So traditionally, a two-way player figures out pretty quickly he's good at one thing or good at another thing, but he's not good at both. Shohei Ohtani's and Babe Ruth's are just not common. Shocker, I know. The way the game simulates that is when the game is deciding what kind of free agency contract they would like to have, it is based primarily on what they think they are the best at. What happens sometimes, apparently, is the AI will become convinced I should be a pitcher, even though it's a really good hitter, and will actually take a pretty big pay cut, thinking that they deserve to be a middling pitcher and not a top tier hitter. So, something to watch out for. I thought you might find that interesting. Harry Simpson's not a center fielder. I've got to take him off the IL. Ed Roebuck, I feel like has enough to offer that I don't want him to disappear. So we're gonna go ahead and casually slide him onto the 40 man. Clifford Lemansky is just not that interesting. If he goes, he goes. Like I appreciate how hard he throws, but I have a feeling he'd have a very short career in the major leagues. That's just my take on it. I mean, I certainly don't have a perfect bullpen, so there's. I mean, I guess his raw power makes him worth keeping around. I talked myself into it. Andrew Dashkovich is a decent infielder, but he cannot hit at all. And we're already at the part where these players are just way too flawed to invest in them even a little bit. Joey J's got a really good chance to make the opening day bullpen. It's a question of whether he can keep the walks low. So he's definitely going to be given, speaking of walks, some practice time. That's why I want to make sure that Andy Carey picked up another position. Not that he's not an incredible third baseman, and I love him being there, but if he can pick up another position or two, he just becomes that much more valuable. So priority number one with a bullet is improving Rocky Colavito's plate discipline. Priority number two with 10 bullets is Joey J improving his control. I feel like I should probably get Ernie Banks some playing time here. Let's have him work on plate discipline. I know it's boring. I tell everyone to work on plate discipline, but you got to think of it this way: if you can get on base consistently, you're going to be a useful player. Even absent any other skill, if you can get on base consistently, you will be a useful player. Um, yeah. So that's why I'm doing it that way. Let us come up here. LB Pearson is pretty special too. Um, work on your plate discipline as well. Hopefully you can't hear that. One of my neighbors is hammering on something today. Which is his God-given right as an American. I wouldn't stand in his way to hammer on something. Okay. I don't have the money to put more into player development. Our team has actually gotten pretty expensive. Um, and some of the players are probably not worth the amount of money that they're commanding, but nonetheless, that's where we are right now. Hmm. I could increase my ticket prices. What are the St. Louis? Wait, where did the Browns go? Oh, they became the Baltimore Orioles. That's right. $1.45. $1.63. Okay, maybe my prices aren't that reasonable. I recruited like 10 cents. I don't see that being terribly useful though. Um, let's check on free agency really quickly with the understanding that I'm probably not gonna be able to acquire anybody worthwhile. Marv Rickert offers nothing of interest. He is uninteresting in the extreme. Yeah, these are just not good players. And I think all the indie league teams are gone too, so yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. Is the American Association affiliated? Yeah, it is. Okay. That's what I figured. Okay. Back to Milb. Back to Cardinals. Alright. Um let's just advance some time. I think we're gonna make any upgrades this season, it's gonna come in free agency. Or not in free agency, the draft rather. Maybe try to get ourselves a quality starting pitcher. I think that would help us out a lot. All right, let's just simulate right up until Hall of Fame voting starts. A healthy Mickey Mantle probably has a chance to win an MVP or three, but at least for right now, he just hasn't been healthy enough. Gold Glove for Harvey Haddix. A Silver Slugger for Stan Lopata and Ernie Banks. Rookie of the Year for Ernie Banks. It was unanimous, which doesn't surprise me. Rocky Colavito got some legit votes too, though. Nice. And that's all I got for Hall for voting, and I think that's reasonable. Start at the bottom. I'm not seeing anybody special besides Dutch Leonard. When I say special, I mean like, oh my god, I had to vote for them. They're that bloody good. Plus Paul Derringer. Oh yeah, this guy. He's not that great. I'm just kidding. Um, is Joe Gordon a Hall of Famer in this time frame? I don't know about that one. I do not know about that one. I'll come back to him once I've offered other people my vote. I do think Johnny Vandermeer deserves it. I think Lon Warnicki deserves it. Schoolboy Rowe, yes. I feel like Buddy Rosard deserves at least one vote. Like, I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I think he deserves to be on the ballot. Just because of his defensive prowess, I think that's really helpful. Especially because you remember correctly, most of his defensive prowess came after he was past his prime, which I thought was really interesting. I'll vote for Max Lanier. Because if you recall correctly, he got his first gold glove in 1950. In 1950, he was 35 years old. Oh, sorry, that's not his first. This is his first. 45. He was already 30 years old when he got his first gold glove. And then he won a whole bunch of them in a row. which is arguably even more impressive because defense is usually one of the first skills to decay. Um, so yeah, I will vote for Ken Keltner. I don't think he deserves the Hall of Fame necessarily, but again, I think he deserves more consideration, and I don't want to fuck him out of that. I think Mort Cooper is letting these rings inflate his opinion. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's terribly close either. Um, but you know, if he makes it in, he makes it in. I will throw a casual vote for Joe Jordan. Honestly, only Joe DiMaggio. I think DiMaggio, Leonard, and Derringer should all make it, but I don't think that they will. I think only DiMaggio is guaranteed to make it, and then maybe somebody else will get a handful of votes. That's just my take on it. I don't know why. It's like I wonder who Manny Trio is. Is he the guy that was a catcher for Pittsburgh? No, it's Manny Sanguian. I don't know who Manny Trio is. I'm sorry. I may seem like I know every baseball player that ever lived, but I'm afraid to inform you that I do not. Do I want to trade anything? I don't really have so much depth at any one position that there's an obvious choice for somebody to trade. Um, hmm. I feel like Davey Williams isn't a bad choice to trade. I think the benefit of trading Davey Williams is somebody is going to look at his offensive capabilities and think that his glove is going to hold up. What could I get in a prospect for one Davey Williams? I saw 146, which was Charles Grimsley, who's a reliever. Eh, he's a good reliever. I could definitely use an upgrade to my bullpen. This is not a terrible idea. I think he's more valuable to this team than a second baseman who can't actually play the position, though. Yeah, let's do it. I can check their prospects, but I'm going to be honest with you. I highly doubt they're going to give anybody up. Especially anybody that's interesting. I mean, they might give up Alan Meyer. Um, I'm looking for greens in anything, and it's just not coming up. I think you just don't have a very good team. I'd love to get Johnny Cucks. Oh my god. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think you're gonna be willing to trade him. Uh, I will happily trade you Early Win. At this point in his career, Early Win is incredibly overpaid. Um, and he's already 33, and if you remember correctly, he's actually losing velocity. So I think this is the time to trade him. It's going to be controversial because people really like Early Win, but this gives us somebody of approximately the same value in Johnny Cox here. A pretty couple of pretty good relievers, and maybe we can even throw in Felix Mantilla, although probably not so much. Yeah, you're not getting Mantle for that. Okay. Woody Held might be possible. I just don't know that I want him. I know why the game is freaking out about it because Early Win really has been a really good pitcher for us, who puts up plenty of innings and pitches pretty efficiently. But I think this is a matter of trading him now when we can still get something useful for him. And I knew the fans would be grumpy about losing Early Win. It is what it is. But I think they'll find that Johnny Cox has something to offer us, pitching wise, and yeah. Where did that fucker go? Or is he already on the roster? He might already be on. No, he's not. Okay. Yeah, you're also coming right to St. Louis. That feels like the right trade. I feel reasonably good about that trade. We get somebody who's considerably younger than Win, who has a lot more upside. Hasn't even started in the major leagues yet is shown to be a pretty reliable arm. He's got three good pitches, well, two good pitches, and he's got a lot of room to grow that I think he can be a pretty damn fine pitcher. Um, yeah. We still need more, though. I'd still like to get another 1 to 2 starting pitchers, possibly through the draft. Anybody else that I really feel is superfluous to requirements. I do want a quality middle infielder now that can defend, so actually, uh, that one guy now becomes even more useful, the one we just added the 40 man. We also got Chuck Stobbs here and Roy Face, so there is still upside here among the crew. Is anybody offering up a top quality starting pitcher? Is that a thing people are offering in these troubled times? No. They're offering an excellent reliever, which is not what I am looking for. He is pretty good, but not what I'm looking for. This also, by the way, freed up some cash, so now at least have a little bit more money to spend as we deem fit. Andy Carey has picked up second base. That's awesome. That is exactly what I was hoping for. Because this way, if Ken Boyer improves the way that we think he will, enough way to get them both in the lineup. Because I don't trust Ken Boyer to play any position but third base, but I do trust Andy Carey now to play second. So I have a lot of options now, which is fantastic. Let's try to get a little bit more player development in. Jim Gentile. What if you worked on plate discipline? I know. It's wild. How could I ever think something so controversial? But nonetheless. Alright. I've got to come away with a starting pitcher in this draft. Almost more than any other position, I need a starting pitcher. I'd love to get Don Drysdale. I have no illusion. This is a damn fine draft class, though. Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. A really good pitcher in Mudcat Grant. I don't think he was a Hall of Famer, though, but I remember him playing for Cleveland. I think he was on that 54 Cleveland team. No, he came a little bit later on. Okay. I know a lot of people think Roger Maris should be in the Hall of Fame. I disagree. If you take a look at his overall career, it wasn't that exciting. Basically, the man had a decent peak and then faded into complete obscurity. Like this stretch right here from 60 to 64, he was one of the better players in the major leagues. But that's it. And I don't believe in including players who don't have either a really great peak or I don't believe in really good one season MVP awards. Or not MVP awards, that's what the MVP is for. Hall of Famers. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I just don't think that's what the Hall of Fame is for. You have to have at least some level of success. I'll happily listen to any and all arguments for peak versus career. But there must be an actual proper peak. Roger Maris had two outstanding seasons, two very good seasons, and then he was average to above average for most of the rest of his career. Not saying he was a bad player, but he wasn't good enough for the Hall of Fame. And I don't think there's really an argument to be made that he is, unless you're just really going to put that much of an emphasis on 61. Which I don't think is appropriate. I don't think it's that useful to put that much emphasis on one season, no matter how good that season was. So sorry, Roger, not for you. Still a very good player though. Very good. I've never even heard of Bob Bruce. Who is Bob Bruce? Looks like you had a couple really good seasons for Houston, and then you just kind of vanished. Hmm, okay, cool. Cleveland has back-to-back first-round picks. I do not understand why Cleveland has so many high draft picks and then never accomplishes anything. That's just wild to me. That is completely wild to me. I mean, if we look at minor league systems, before we even get into anything else, Cleveland's always in the top five. They have Hank fucking Aaron just chilling in the hot and just chilling in the minors. They've got a lot of high caliber athletes. It just seems like they're not doing much with the athletes that they get. Okay, maybe they actually aren't that good a team. Maybe they just suck, and they get really good draft picks, and then they squander them or just trade them or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Any hoozle, let's start the draft and see who is left by the time we actually get to draft. I starting to starting pitch. Oh, I didn't see Bill Mazeroski's in this draft. That's a pretty good player. Um, I could take a legendary reliever. I think that's silly with my first round pick. I could take Jackie Brandt. That is tempting. Oh, remember I had when I had the other franchise with Mickey Mantle. I think it was the Dodgers in a pre-historical series. I also had Jackie Brandt on that team, and it turned out Jackie Brandt was pretty good. Hmm. I can't really go wrong with either Grant or McBride. I think I like Grant a little bit better, but they're very, very similar pitchers. I think it's just Grant has a fourth pitch and his pitch is already pretty advanced. Once he can start throwing strikes consistently, he's going to be a really good pitcher. I think Mudcat Grant is my choice. I think this may be a mistake. I think Jackie Brandt is an underrated talent. I'm going to shortlist Jackie Brandt, but I am going to draft Mudcat Grant. Luis Aparicio is in this draft. What? Wild. You know what's better than one starter? Two starters. Is Dick Stigman any good? You're a deeply weird pitcher, but I'm kind of into that. There is a lot to like about your raw talent, and if you can develop this effectively, you could be really good. Like, really, really good. We're already at, like, the back of the draft, and there's just not a lot to like now. Go ahead and do your thing. This is just a really, really shallow draft that had a really good top of the draft, and the rest of it's not so good. John Miller. Sure. $315 is so cheap, I'll just do it. Like, I won't even look at it. Ray Ripplemeyer is pretty shitty no matter what he's asking for. Yeah, Ray Ripplemeyer just sucks. But I will go ahead and give him. I will give Blaylock and Ramos a little taste, and the rest of you nerds can all go disappear. Fucking George Arendt thinks he's worth. How much money do you think you're worth? Do you think you're worth $24,000? Have you absolutely lost your mind? That's fucking hilarious. He's like, yes, I'm worth $21,000, bro. You're not worth $21. I'll give you a shiny nickel. That is my signing bonus offer to you. Here you go. I'm gonna show you my elite negotiation skills. $1. Honestly, I think you're ripping off even at $1. Now for you, Leroy, $5. That's just the kind of guy that I am. Rob Ripplemeyer, I will offer you $1. So go $270. I will give you $1 bill. Oh yes, Roof Jack hasn't even started yet. Very well. Let's get us some Perky Bob. He's not a great pitcher, but I'm at least willing to let him pitch and get some spring training reps in. Is the master of the split-fingered fastball available? He is. I could potentially bring him in. Ronald Rulo strikes a lot of people out, but he's kind of a mid-tier pitcher. I don't think he's interesting. I will add Marv Blaylock. And I will add Billy Gardner too. I know he's real dumb, but he happens to be useful in multiple positions, and that's always helpful. That's it. Rule 5 over. Literally nobody else took anybody besides Cincinnati taking Dixie Howell from the Pirates. That's funny. Did I offer Bob Blaylock $1? No, I offered $2,100. Okay. So I have to say, damn, he really doesn't have much self-respect. The others are probably just gonna tell me to go to hell, which is their right as Americans. Yeah, fuck you, Ray. Yeah, you're not worth it, bro. What a cow crouchy you are. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, here you go, buddy. Here's your $20,000. Enjoy. You know what, dudes? I'm happy for you. Damn. Some people are fucking hard asses, man. I don't know why you'd not vote for Joe DiMaggio, but sure. I don't think the game is hard coded not to do a unanimous Hall of Famer. I just don't think the game is hard as considers that a possibility. Oh no. Anyway. Who's the guy that got Joe DiMaggio on the Boston Braves? It was me. Of course it was. Because I am the greatest. Willie Mays reminds me of Nelson Escalante and the others say, where there's just like, when you have elite center fielders, it's hard to to really be like, yeah, I can do that. I can keep up with them because you cannot. I'm glad you made $20,000 more. I have nothing to do with it though. Our team's kind of expensive, so it's going to be tricky for us to make genuine upgrades unless we just start like ruthlessly paring down the payroll. Um, yeah. Ooh, Harvey Haddix got better. Nice. Johnny Pod Racing improved. Charles Grimsley got better. Stan Lopata got better. Frank Thomas got better. Joey J did not get better, at least not yet. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right, 38 players already doing spring training. I think Ken Boyer and Joey J definitely get invites. I think Andrew Dashkovich can have a little as a treat. Alan Meyer, Jim King, Bob Weasler, he's the Weasliest. Just for fun, I think Mudcat Grant can have a spring training invite as well. I'm fine with Mel Parnell back in the rotation. I think that's reasonable. I didn't really get the one thing I wanted, which was a top tier starting pitcher, but Harvey Haddix improving significantly certainly isn't going to make that harder. And then do your thing here. I don't know that I approve of benching Frank Thomas entirely. I think Frank Thomas is still a better player than Ed Boucher, but I'm also going to let Ed Boucher wow me in spring training, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Um, I think Ed Boucher at his final form is pretty damn good, but I don't think he's better than Frank Thomas right now. But nonetheless, I'm happy to let Frank Thomas play a little bit less frequently in spring training. Okay. Wait, is Gene Willing got worse? No, Gene Willing is a fine left fielder. I think we're at the stage in our team's career where whether we're going to be good, great, or indifferent is going to come down to Mickey Mantle being healthy. If Mantle can be really, really good, I think the rest of the team just gets a lot better. That is probably enough to give Joey J a what you call it, a major league roster spot. The rest of the team is very important. Don't get me wrong, but a healthy Mickey Mantle makes the rest of the team better. I see he's put on the shelf. He's listed day to day. That's amazing. That's exactly what you want to see. Um, Player development. Tom Morgan improved his velocity, but got worse as a pitcher. Mel Parnell improved his velocity. That's fun. Johnny Cox is about the same. Mudcat Grant improved his control, which is fantastic news. Um, Rocky Calvito and Gene Woodling both got better. Fred Barbeau got better. Albie Pearson improved a little bit. Roy Chambers got better. Oh, good. He's already back. Okay, great. I was actually going to put him on the IL because we cannot afford to lose him. He is that bloody good. Um, I'm not opposed to Bob Porterfield. He seems like a reasonably good pitcher, but I'm not going to give up my pretty solid backup catcher for it. And more importantly, I don't want to spend the money. So, sorry, Cincy. Find somebody else for overpriced garbage. Garbaggio. All right. Well done by you, Pearson. Well done. Oh, that's right. In the 50s, the Cincinnati Reds went expressly by red legs so people wouldn't think they were communist. That's actually always been the name of Cincinnati's teams, always been called the Red Legs, but they decided to change the name to make it a little bit more on the nose. All right. I got 25 pitchers. I would like to have 13 of them disappear. Murray Dixon. See you, dude. Mudcat Grant back to the minor leagues. Thanks for showing up. Sam Jones. I give up. I give up. Wilbur Lansing, minor leagues. Perky Bob, don't need you. But how perky you may be. Weasler to the minors. Kennedy to the minors. Lamonsky to the minors. Meyer to the minors. Presco to the minors. What am I at now? 15. 3 more pitchers gotta go. Joey J gets to stay. Column to the minors. I feel like Roebuck goes to the minors, and we let Stobbs have a shot at that last starting spot. And then Herbert Holmes can go to the minors. You don't want to be demoted, you can be cut instead. I have literally no time for you. I will trade you for literally anything of mediocre value, but I don't think I'll even get that, so I think you're just going to get cut, my guy. Sorry, bro. Wow, really? Herbert fucking Holmes is like the most popular guy ever. I don't get it. Damn. I need to get fan interest up. I need them to realize how amazing Mickey Mantle is. Just buy tickets for that. Alright, 12 pitchers, amazing. Um we're gonna put Johnny Cucks. No, let me look at pitching ratings for a second here. I think Stobbs is the best fit. Oh, really? I'd have an entirely left-handed. That's funny. An entirely left-handed rotation is probably not good enough. Let's put Johnny in the rotation. The rest of this is fine. Who do I trust most among my relievers? Probably Ernie Johnson or Roy Face, maybe. See, I'm fine with kind of going this path. And then maybe after a month or two, we'll figure out who is pitching the best and give them more of a role. Joey J and Roy Face look pretty solid. This is certainly it's not a dominant bullpen, but it's a pretty solid one. And I think we've got a lot of experience and a lot of arms that can all offer us something. Well, Tom Morgan started last year. How does Tom Morgan keep getting put in the bullpen? Is he just that bad at starting? No, he's about the same as fucking Johnny Cucks here. But I think I will let Tom Morgan stay in the bullpen for now, and we'll see how that turns out. Alright, position players. I must make 6 of them depart. 7 of them depart. Earl Taborn. I mean, I think Taborn is the one who gets waived. Bob DiPietro has literally nothing to offer anybody. I'm just gonna casually waive him right now and not even worry about it. I feel like another year in AAA would help Ken Boyer a lot. Um, I'd rather have Dashkovich than Dean Maestri, so we're gonna go ahead and add him to the Major League roster. Welcome aboard. And then I have entirely too many outfielders. Jim King can go. Harry Simpson can go to the minors. And then I guess the question is, do we keep Cleveland Clark or do we return Marv Blaylock? And I think we return Marv Blaylock. So there we go. Done. All right, let's get the lineup set up. Okay. Our best combination of contact and batting eye is still Gene Woodling. Actually, no, I think it is Schoendienst. I mean, we're going to make it easy. It's going to be one and then the other in both lineups. So we want lots of people on base, and Mickey Mantle shows up to hit third. Who hits cleanup? It's either going to be Ernie Banks or it's going to be Frank Thomas because Boucher hasn't improved enough to be given an everyday role yet. Um, let's do Frank Thomas playing first base. And then Ernie Banks can play shortstop and bat fifth. No, actually, or do I want Andy Carey to bat fifth? No, I want Andy Carey to bat sixth. No, wait, I had them confused. I do want Carey batting fifth. And then, no, I want Banks batting fifth. Sorry, I keep changing my mind. It's because of the power. Um, but I think Andy Carey's one of the best number six hitters in the entire league. Then we need our catcher, good old Stan Lopata. And then last but certainly not least is going to be our right fielder, Rocky Colavito. This lineup has extreme amounts of power in it. I think we could be a terrifying team for others to face under the right circumstances. Generate me a depth chart, please. Ed Boucher is not playing every third game, but I will let him play every fifth game. I look like Ed Boucher can't even get pinch hit appearances yet. We wanted to play first base all the time. That's wild. Okay. Let's get started. Let's see if we can take this. Yeah, we have so much power as a lineup that we're going to be really dangerous provided we can make contact consistently. And that's why it was so key to have Mickey Mantle on board because he's one of the few guys who gets on base and hits for power, which means even if he can't hit one out himself, somebody below him will. Um, wow, Ken Boyer was the number four prospect for like 10 seconds. The grades of Hank Aaron and Frank Robinson. That's wild. That is fucking wild. Damn, he just fell off the list entirely. Okay. Neat. Let's baseball, friends. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Okay, okay. A bunch of people got through waivers, as is tradition. I mean, everyone knows the first month of the season. First month of the season, like I know the games quite literally count, but they don't count as far as like telling you what kind of team you actually have. There's just not enough data. There's just not enough data. Okay. Good. Good. Who is Murray? Joe Murray. Damn, son. How about my position players? Oof. I could do news for my team, but I'd like to see how my minor leaguers are doing. Um, I'm not going to make any changes based on April. May as well really start to see what this team is capable of. Oh no, please don't give my backup center fielder fucking. Oh, nice. It looks like Cucks made you real. I can't do it. That fruit is way too low hanging even for me. I have standards, god damn it. Okay, I really don't have standards, but I'm still not gonna make the joke yet. We'll see if I can withstand the temptation. Oh yeah, the Braves are Milwaukee now. Jesus Christ, Pittsburgh. It's okay to let other people have good teams. It is legal. Yeah, Lou Berbere is getting better. That's excellent to see. Ernie Banks is improving his potential. Rockford Colavito is getting better. But you know his real first name is Rockford. It's true. That's Rockford. Mudcat Grant got worse, which is not good. Albie Pearson is getting better though. That's exciting. Um. Okay. The lineup isn't quite as expected. Andy Carey and Ernie Banks in particular performing way below what I expected. But then you've got Rocky Colavito casually hitting 8 home runs as your eighth place hitter. Um, and maybe that's a move that has to happen. We're at how many at bats into the season? 198 for Banks. I don't think that's enough yet, but I do think by the end of June we're going to need to be moving the lineup around a bit. Pitching has been okay except for Johnny Pod Racing, and I think Frank Duncan is really struggling. But then again, none of our relievers have been pitching frequently, so it's hard to say who actually is good and who is not. Hmm. What's your problem, Johnny Pod Racing? You're just getting hit this year for some reason. That's wild. You're pitching well. Just for whatever reason this year, people are able to get a bigger chunk of your pitches than normal. Ironically, the best pitcher on the team is actually the rookie. Everyone else is from fair to Midland. We're doing all right. I'm not too concerned about anything just yet. There's not any obvious weaknesses other than just having players continue to play at their very best. So we'll see how this works out. Let us advance to the month of July. Look, Ernie Banks is kind of bulletproof because even if he isn't a top 10 hitter, he's still a shortstop. Oh no, Josh Yandel Jr. is taking over from Josh Yandel. Okay. What is your deal, Yandel the Younger? You're understanding, you're good with money, you like to meddle. Okay. Let's discuss this. I'd rather be building up fan interest than trying to make you a profit. Okay. All right, let us delete some emails. Too many emails. We're very mid tier, which I find kind of shocking. It seems like we're actually struggling to put together runs in bunches. Like we'll have those days where like 16 runs in a game, and then we'll hit like 3 for the next 3 or 4 days. Um, Ken Boyer only plays third base, therefore it doesn't make sense to call him up unless I'm going to do something different with Andy Carey. Jesse Burris can't play something else third. He can play first. That's not wildly interesting. We'll call up D Maestri to cover, help cover the infield. All right. We're very swingy. Like we'll win, we'll get like 7 or 8 runs one game and then get shut out the next game, and we haven't been able to put anything together. But I mean, I think this is Pittsburgh's year. Pittsburgh has an awesome team. I just don't think I can keep up with that. It just strikes me as very unlikely. Players are getting better. You'd love to see it. Reed Banks is hitting more for gap power. Mickey Mantle is Mickey Mantling better. Yeah, Ken Boyd is just such an interesting player because I know that Clark is really really good, but he may not be good enough. Let's look at the team and how it's doing this year. Carey's the guy I was thinking of. Sorry. Um. Hmm. Hmm. This vexes me. We should argue about one of the deepest lineups in the majors, and instead we don't. And I'm not sure what's happening. It seems like 3 players are playing very, very well, and then the rest of the team is playing decent to average. Hmm. All right, step one. Colavito replaces Banks in the lineup. Banks is still playing at a pretty high level, but he's not hitting the ball out, and I think that vastly reduces his value to us. I think Andy Carey hitting eighth might be a nice way for him to like recharge his career. Like it may just be this is just who he is, but I hope it's not because he's a really good player, and I don't even think he's better than. I don't even think Ken Boyer can ever be better than him. So I don't know. How is Mr. Boucher? Is he getting any better? He is not. Mr. Boucher, I'm going to send you to the minor leagues. I think you need to be playing every single day. You don't need to be a backup first baseman. This then gives me the flexibility to call up somebody else. Ken Boyer has kind of learned all he can learn. Yeah, the difference is Boucher still has room to grow, and Boyer doesn't. Boyer's kind of reached where he should be. So I kind of think calling up Boyer makes sense. I only have 4 outfielders. How the fuck did that happen? No wonder Mickey Mantle keeps getting tired out. Yeah, we'll call up Harry Simpson instead. There we go. All right. Like, there's. Oh, you fucking game. Would you fucking quit injuring him? Wow. It is hard to picture a fucking world where timing could have gone any worse. Cleveland Clark becomes my starting center fielder, which doesn't fill me with joy. But he's the only player that's actually like a real. Or is Frank Thomas actually a better center fielder? He's pretty solid. Maybe we do call up Ken Boyer and have him play first base and put Frank Thomas back in put him back in center field. Hitting third needs to be somebody who gets on base a lot, which Frank Thomas does not. So I guess that's Rocky Colavito. That is such fucking bullshit, game. Of all the fucking times to injure him in the middle of the stretch run, where we actually might have had a chance to improve our luck a little bit, is just disgusting. It is truly gross, and I hope you feel bad for it, game. I know you don't, but you should feel bad about it. I don't want Clark playing every other game, but I do like him starting a bit more frequently. And no, we're not starting Simpson over Boyer. I'm just gonna copy this depth chart over. That is awful timing, and I'm really getting worried about Mantle because if Mantle can't stay healthy, my entire strategy goes up in smoke. We're losing a bench coach, hitting coach, and first baseman. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm not playing with chemistry turned on. That's right. Fenton is pretty damn good. I think Fenton is a high quality backup and should be given an extension. Ball player wise has developed like 2 or 3 rookies of the year in a row, so I think he is more than worthy of a contract extension. A lot of love here. Potential Hall of Famer, Dutch Leonard. No, this is a different Dutch Leonard, I think. He's really good too. Like, I have very little reason not to keep around my existing coaching staff. Like, there's not like an obvious weakness to fill. So yeah, you can all stick around. Mr. Daskovich. I'm gonna send you to the minor leagues. Am I gonna keep? No, I'd rather keep you over my do my S3. The former Gold Glover who never got a major league start again. That's just funny to me. I'm sorry. I'm not actually sorry, but I'm a little sorry. I am not unsorry. No, you know what? Fuck you, Harry Simpson. You can play when I'm damn good and ready for you to play. This is about Ken Boyer seeing if he can put up some numbers while playing first base. I really don't like Frank Thomas playing center field, but if it's what has to happen, it's what has to happen. Who made it in the National League? Mickey Mantle did not make it once again. Rocky Colavito did, which is kind of funny. So did Red Schoendienst and Johnny Cucks. So we had exactly 3 All-Stars this year. Was Mantle at least close? I feel like he was. I feel like Mantle was pretty damn good this year. Yeah, I think if he had been healthy, I think he would have made it. We've had a bit of power outage as a team this year. Mickey Mantle can only manage 8 home runs. That's That is concerning. Absolutely not, but thanks for asking. Yeah, we've had a really. I think we're maybe too power based. I think we need more on base guys if this lineup is going to work. I mean, obviously, this is the same lineup that doesn't have Mickey Mantle in it, which is fair. Oh man, I actually would have made this trade. Damn. Oh well. Oh, you traded into fucking Pittsburgh. Did you need to make Pittsburgh better? I wonder if I could just get Frank Bauman from you. Okay, we're off to an okay start. What if I offered you Jim King? You seem to be pretty happy about that. Done. Bauman is special. He's a really damn good pitcher and just makes us a better club. There we go. Who did I trade? I traded Harry Simpson, which means and Jim King, my two upper level outfielders. That may have been a mistake. Oh, that may have been a big mistake. Who among my starters has the least to offer? I mean, Mel Parnell, I feel like might get me a decent return. He's also the oldest pitcher remaining on the roster, so let's try to trade him. I would love an outfielder. June Lemon's pretty decent. He's not amazing, but he's pretty decent. Tom Umflat would offer the elite defense if that's what I'm looking for. So Lemon's not a bad defender either. I think Lemon is interesting, but I think Umflat might be the better player. No, because his contact is from not striking out, and that's not an ideal offensive portfolio. I guess we take Lemon. And who else do you have? Do you have any other interesting prospects? You have Neil Chrisley, who is an okay. Yeah, he's terrible. Do you have like any major league ready outfielders that maybe just need a new home? How about Walt Marin? Would you throw him in? And I'd like you to add in 50 grand, please. I can't give you Mr. Cox. I need him. But I could offer you Raul Galata and low rent. No, huh? Okay. Jesse Burris? Oh, you want Roebuck? You can have Roebuck. Yeah, there you go. All right. So Frank Bauman and Walt Marin instantly get promoted to the majors. Jim Lemon, I know, has to go on the 40 man, but he's going to go to AAA for at least the present. Pitching wise, Frank Bauman. I cannot stop with the lefties apparently. I go ooh lefty, and I just have to have them, which is fair. I mean, I'm left-handed, but I'm not that excited about lefties in general. I promise. Is starter tired? I just really want Ken Boyd to have a chance to show if he can actually hit or not. So far, he can't, but he's also had less than 100 at bats, so he really just needs an opportunity. Oh, there you go. He can learn other positions in the season. I thought that wasn't possible. That's good to know. And I'm worried that Mantle comes back too late for it to matter. Mantle probably won't come back until like the tail end of the year. No. Red, we are simpatico. That is not gonna happen, mate. Stop offering me like your mediocre relievers for my backup catcher. Not Winnipeg. Just like to call them guinea pig. Is that Tommy Lasorda? Holy shit. You know, I forgot he actually played in the major leagues. Because I remember he wasn't very good, if I'm not mistaken. How good was Tommy Lasorda as a player? He was what we call shit. Damn fine manager. But yeah, he had just a couple of cups of coffee with the major leagues. Hmm. Apparently, he's become a starting pitcher, though, which is funny. What do we want? Is there anything we do not presently want? Is there anybody that has made themselves superfluous? I don't think so. Um, Technically, I could trade Red Schoendienst, but he's one of my best hitters this year, which is kind of damning. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna set that aside for now. He's an on-base machine, which is what this club needs. We have Gene Woodland getting on base at a high clip. Um, the problem is we haven't had Mantle for the whole season, and while Thomas and Banks are both doing fine, they're not doing what we expected to be doing. So honk. I probably just need to pick a reliever and trust them and see what they can do over the course of a full season, but I just find it hard for myself to trust any one particular reliever. Damn, you suck, Joey J. Um, what if I did just make Frank Duncan the third our stopper? What if I said put this fucker in a tight situation? Let's see how that works out for us. Maybe more traditional bullpen structure would actually help us out a lot. We'll see. We'll see if that makes any real impact. Like, I don't think I'm losing a lot of close games. I think I'm just getting blown out all the time. Or blowing people out. Like, that seems to be the actual issue. Am I losing a lot of one-run games? I'm not doing well in them, but I'm certainly not the worst team either. Um, Interesting. Left-handed pitchers are eating me alive for some reason. Do I not have very many right-handed hitters? That doesn't seem right. My park does suppress home runs from right-handed hitters like Ernie Banks and Frank Thomas, but still, hmm. Curious. Didn't you make the All Star team as well? I want to say you did. Nice. Start trade deadline. Another manager who didn't do much in the major leagues. George Jefferson, huh? I'm not gonna trade for a big money player. I don't have the money. What an uninteresting trade deadline. I just don't think it's anything that I want. Do I have anybody that is like really obviously blocked or blocking someone else? I mean, Gene Woodling. No, Gene Woodling is too good still. He's too important to this club for me to trade him. Gene Woodling can stay as long as he wants. Oh, because it's not listing Walt Marin as an outfielder for some stupid reason. But yeah, he is my backup outfielder. Okay. I feel like somebody's going to look at Cleveland Clark and think he would make a fine everyday center fielder, but my problem is he's a captain, and I don't want to disrupt the team chemistry that much. He's really good at that. So, yeah. Apparently, Lou Berberet is a bit of an asshole. Maybe we do trade him. What would be the price if I did offer him up to a hungry team? All players prospects. Can I get a green? Can I go green? Not really. I'm not really getting enough of an upgrade. So I think I just pass and I accept that I have a really, really good backup catcher. For now. I feel like Albie Pearson is such a natural successor to Gene Woodling that I can't trade him until I can't trade Gene Woodling until Pearson is ready to go. Um, which may be as soon as next season, I guess. But I'm just gonna end the trade deadline. I'm just gonna skip through because there's a chance somebody will offer me something I'm not even thinking about. Curtis Roberts is a very fine defender, but he doesn't have a lot else to offer. I think we substantially upgraded our rotation. I know I said that was one of my goals to be in this episode, and I think we substantially upgraded it. We are a better team now than we were at the beginning of the season with the addition of guys like Bauman, Cux, and just more regular bullpen roles. I think is something I need to invest in next season. I think that's important. Mudcat Grant is an excellent starting pitcher in his own right. Um, yeah, and we are getting some youngsters developing in the minor leagues. I just think they're a fair way away from being a major leaguer. It is what it is. Jim Lemon is even more lemon scented than he was before. Harvey Haddix, best pitcher in the National League in the month of July. Cool. I mean that and 50 cents to get you a cup of coffee, but well, in this time, not in this time. I know it's like a tired bit, but good lord, is Starbucks expensive. I've only been there like 2 or 3 times, and every time I find myself badly disappointed by the amount of money I spent versus what I actually got. The Pirates are just stupid good this year. Like I don't think anyone was gonna be able to compete with them. This was their year. Um, so yeah, like I can't even be mad about it. We're actually a pretty solid team again. But losing Mantle hurt a lot. I mean, that's not a shock, right? That's not remotely surprising that losing a guy with the raw ability of Mickey Mantle actually made us worse off. I don't think that's a shock to anybody, but Okay. We gotta find a way to keep Mantle healthy. I think that is by far the biggest issue facing this club. How's Ken Boyer done? He's done very, very well. Frank Thomas has also done well though. Like, who do I bench to let what's his face come in? Let's let Mantle play center field again. What if we played Mantle in one of the corners? I don't know if that'd actually be better for him or not. Mm. Ken Boyer's hitting so well. I think I'm gonna let him stick at third. I think Andy Carey's gonna be the one to hit the bench for the rest of the season. And then Muntal. Like, I know Carey's really, really good, but you've got to let the hot hand play. And Ken Boyer's been really, really good. And I think it's important to let him finish the season to see what we've got in him, and then we can make an informed decision about what to do with our club next year. Mantle hits third, then Thomas, then Banks, then Lopata. Sorry, then Boyer, then Lopata. I feel bad because Carey's really, really good, but I need him to. I need Boyer to get some experience. Not never. But yeah, I need Boyer to get some experience. Playing third base toward the end of the season here. Like, the season's done. Like, I'm not making the postseason no matter what happens. I think it's so important to let a youngster like Boyer get some time playing at the hot corner. He's actually older than Carey. That's funny. But yeah, Carey's an amazing player, and we will find a spot for him regardless. Are you fucking kidding me, game? He just came back from a damn injury, and you're just gonna injure him again. Like, I know, real Mantle, really real life Mickey Mantle got hurt all the time too, but this is getting ridiculous. Come on, game. Give me some fucking slack. So much of this team is invested in the success of Mickey Mantle, and this fucker cannot stay healthy. Um, Jim Lemon can get some occasional at bats, so I guess he goes back to center field. Boyer goes back to first. And then Carey comes back and plays through. I think fucking Carey like took after him, but that's what fucking happened. He was like, "This Mickey Mantle guy fucked up my spot in the lineup. Fuck him." No, sir. Fuck you. Can we just stop thinking that Marin needs to play at all? He's not the player Ken Boyer is, so stop being fucking stupid, game. Cease thy stupidity. I am cranky because of my team being silly. But whatever. I mean, the Parts Casual won 102 games this year. Like, we were never making the postseason if we had played to the very best of our ability. Just wasn't going to happen. Because Duke fucking Snyder is just a few percentage points away from winning a triple crown. Like, that's not something you can easily fight, regardless. So I wish our scoring was more consistent. Like, I know our raw numbers look pretty good, but the problem is we'll score like 30 runs in 3 games and then not score a run for the next four. We need to be consistent. And I think it means we need even more high contact guys. We need healthy Mickey Mantle. I mean, that's the actual answer to our problem. Mickey Mantle being healthy is what makes us the best offense in the major leagues. But that hasn't happened yet. And now we're just going to fucking casually injure Rocky Colavito, too, who's also having a breakout season. Thanks, game. Amazing job. I love it. I love not having players. Um, I mean, it's not that big a deal because there's only 1 game left in the season, but that still makes you kind of grumpy. There we go. Out for year, out for 2 games. Like, that's not the year. If the Pirates don't sweep the White Sox, I will be utterly shocked. They're just that good this year. Like, Duke Snyder has said, I want to be the best player in Major League Baseball, and I'm going to prove it to you. Which, fair play to them, man. Fair play to them. I don't know why you took me out of that to show me the millions of people that retire all the time. Damn. Oh wow, Clifford Lemonsky almost actually made actually almost made the roster this year. Fucking Chicago White Sox give the Pirates the biggest choke job in early Major League history. That's fucking nuts. The Pirates were utterly dominant and then just shit the bed. I know those feels, my friends. Oh, how I know those feels. I think this year we need depth in the draft. We just need good players that can fill in for injuries. Because injuries really sunk us this year, especially the injury to Mickey Mantle. The injuries, excuse me, since he played like what 60 games this year, if that. Well, the healthy Mantle, I don't think any offense can touch us from top to bottom. We're just that deep. That's the problem, though, is he hasn't been healthy. Um, we didn't know what to do with Frank Thomas, and Ken Boyer, and Andy Carey, and Red Schoendienst. Because right now I have like 6 players for 5 spots. And I don't know who the odd man out's going to be yet, but Frank Thomas is looking like a possibility. Mm. We'll break down the season. We'll see how we actually did, and I think we'll find that we did pretty well. We did win a bunch of games. It was just the parts were just that damn good this year with Mignoso, um, Duke Snyder. I know there's at least Wally Post was like third in the league in home runs. It's just one of those leagues where everything tried to fit together for them, and then they made the World Series, and they just got boat raced. I mean, boat race is a bit of an exaggeration. They did lose 4 games to 2. It could have been. It could have gone either way, but that's still a pretty legendary choke point or choke job rather. It's an average score. I agree. It is average. Well, you didn't tell me about my goals this year. You just randomly gave me a 3-year contract extension, for which I thank you. Okay. How did we actually do as a club? We get Mickey Mantle back. Nice. I'm putting Mantle back on the roster for one reason and one reason only, so I can get an accurate accounting of everyone's stats. Red Schoendienst was your number 1 Cardinal this year, which certainly is a good thing. I'm not complaining, but it also speaks to the paucity of the team as a whole. He had a very fine season. Like I'm happy for him, and he did well, but that's a little concerning. Mickey Mantle played less, just over half the season, and was the second best player on the team. I mean, uh, he is what this offense needs to be its very best. Um, we'll just leave it at that. Frank Thomas was pretty decent again. Um, yeah, I mean, he's a good player. Stan Lopata, a pretty good season as well. Ernie Banks definitely just did what he did last year, just not quite as well. He's also not a great shortstop. Hmm. Gene Woodling is, I think, one of the biggest disappointments this season. Um, he's losing his power. And powers are something he had a lot of to begin with, but I think he's lost it. At least some of it. Andy Carey had a pretty decent second season, although he was better last year. And then Ken Boyer kind of exploded onto the scene there at the end of the year. Was a really good player. Um, I mean, my backups were pretty bad. I think a good backup infielder is something we're going to want to invest in because Billy Gardner was actually terrible. Like, at no point during the season did he improve his defense at all, and that was going to be his only real calling card. Um, and Dashkovich wasn't that much better. Dashkovich was just an awful hitter in every description of the word, so we got a lot of work to do there. What about our pitching, though? Johnny Pod Racing had another fine season. Johnny Cucks turned out to be pretty good, so did Frank Bauman and Harvey Haddix. Chuck Stobbs was a pretty damn good starting pitcher in terms of just piling up those innings. And then I think I need to set a clear expectation of who our relievers are going to be earlier in the season. I think once we got the better pitchers pitching more often, it really helped the team as a whole. That's something I'm going to definitely have to focus on next year. Is assigning those key pitching roles earlier in the season and seeing where we get to from there. But that is it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below and let me know what you think of how things are going. Um, I'm not sure when. I've been playing a lot of The Long Dark, and I kind of want to do a couple videos on that. So I'll make sure to post on the subreddit when I'm getting ready to consider that and go from there. But until next time, my friends, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you